Gently, Eden caught Iris's arm. "Granny, we really oughtn't to spy on this man." "Well, I think it's our duty." Eden had to smile at the wicked gleam in her granny's eye. "OK, I'll take a look, but only if we do it discreetly." "Of course," said Iris, lowering her voice. "I'll sit here while you sneak a look through the hedge. He won't hear you with that weird racket going on." It wasn't a racket, Eden thought. It was quite a soothing piece of music, with tinkling bells and panpipes. Not her thing, but it could be a lot worse. "Go on, then," Iris whispered, urging Eden with a wave of her hand. I so should not be doing this, Eden thought, sinking to her knees on the small patch of lawn. What if this man caught them? How embarrassing to be found watching him through a hedge. It would look creepy at best. The turf was damp under her knees, and there was a loud meow at her side. She looked down and saw the family cat staring up with accusing yellow eyes. Eden put her fingers to her lips. "Shh, not now, Sardine," she murmured, though if the strange young man hadn't heard her grandmother, he was hardly likely to be put off by a ginger cat. Eden tried to stroke Sardine's back, but he dodged her caress and wandered off towards the doorway into Wolf Rock, his tail twitching in disdain. With the music drifting over her head, Eden parted the leaves in the hedge and... "Oh! Told you," Iris said, with a hiss of triumph. Cursing her exclamation, Eden let out her breath of surprise as quietly as she could, although the strange young man didn't seem to have registered the presence of anyone else. He seemed oblivious to everything around him. Well, he was certainly young, not far off her own 33 years, and as for strange, by Iris's standards, possibly. He certainly didn't look like most of the guests who normally rented the neighbouring cottage for their holidays. Longships was a 2-bedroom rental and was almost exclusively occupied by couples or small families. Their activities were mostly confined to reading in the small walled garden or barbecues on summer evenings. Most of them were reasonably behaved, although at odd times rows would break out and the music would become very loud and definitely not soothing, usually after too much of the local cider had been consumed. Eden had never, ever seen one of its occupants standing on his head wearing only a pair of orange Speedos. She had to admit that her curiosity was piqued. Even upside down, it was obvious he kept in shape. Well, he had to keep in shape to hold a headstand for that long, she supposed. Surely he was going to wobble and collapse on the grass at any moment. There was barely a tremor. He must have a core of steel, and in fact, from the tanned torso with its six-pack, that was obvious. His toned, muscular legs were perfectly aligned, the feet arched and toes pointing skywards. He reminded Eden of a lighthouse, with its base, his head, rooted into the rock, the tower tapering up to the clouds, built to withstand anything the Atlantic seas could hurl at it. At lightning speed, the man deftly returned to all fours, sprang up, and was on his way to the fence. Eden shot backwards, lost balance, and fell onto her bum. "Oh, God, I think he's seen us." She scrabbled to get up off the lawn. "Want a hand, love?" Iris held out her hand. "No, I'm fine. Not fine. How can I be fine when I've been outed as a peeping Tom?" She stood up, brushing grass off her shorts. "Morning." The strange young man was peering over the fence. "I hope I haven't disturbed you." Beside her, Iris seemed mesmerised, and Eden could hardly blame her granny. He certainly looked even better the right way up. His dark blonde hair almost brushed his bare shoulders, and his emerald green gaze swept over Eden, whose cheeks felt as hot as a freshly brewed espresso. This was so not her, blushing and fumbling in front of some bloke. No one fazed her these days, and certainly no man, no matter how attractive or charming or seemingly nice, would ever get within 100 feet of her heart again. Not after Simon. Oh no. "Do we look disturbed?" she said, more crossly than she'd intended. "Well, actually, don't answer that," Eden muttered. "I was looking for my,